Yes.
Well, good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of Friday Morning Live. Today is March 13th, Friday the 13th, 2026. And we are excited to have our friends from Ask Fetch. Trace Meek will be on shortly. We'll get him loaded and ready to go in a sec. But want to give another shout out to our friends in the comms department here at FAI for updating our PowerPoint slides this morning. We debuted them a few weeks ago, but just want to give another shout out to our friends in the comms department here at the association. So kind of prettied us up and make us look pretty well here for this PowerPoint. There is yours truly, Dave Newell. If you have any questions or certainly we encourage questions here at Friday Morning Live. So please post them in your question pane and we'll get them answered throughout the broadcast. And like we say each week, if we don't get to them through the live broadcast, we'll certainly get your questions answered offline. So there's our friend Trace Meek. Trace comes from us from the Clearwater area, and so we'll bring him on in a minute as he brings us through the Ask Fetch platform and talks about some of the great things that they're doing to help independent agents. So, education member benefit. Just a reminder, as a member of the association, you get 10 hours of continuing education free as a member benefit. So each month these classes are posted, and so you see them online, but certainly if you can't make the March dates, April will be just around the corner, as they say. So just check the calendar. And then also additional classes that we have via the web. Jeff Odom has begun his AIAM series. So if you are looking for organizational kind of reminders, customer service, some negotiating conflict within your agency or with potentially clients, certainly join Jeff each week as he puts on a different iteration of the AIM. And if you complete all of them, you get the designation. So a fun thing here from the association. So just a reminder, convention, June 17th through the 19th. The exhibit hall is completely sold out. So there'll be over 300 exhibitors there at the convention this year at the Gaylord. One thing to continue to keep in mind, and we mentioned it in previous shows, that there are certain nights right now, it's not going to continue, but certainly right now, there are certain nights that the hotel, our room block, at least for FAI, is sold out. We're gathering more rooms, and we're going to post those as soon as those become available. But if you plan on attending our annual convention in June, go ahead, and the nights that are available, go ahead and book those. And as the additional nights come available for other nights, we will let you know, and then you can certainly book those as well. For those that have a larger party, I would certainly recommend going ahead and getting rooms at the Overflow Hotel as Plan B. And as rooms become available at the Gaylord, then you can certainly switch your reservations. But strongly recommend registering for the convention, but more importantly, getting your room situated so you have those booked in a timely manner for convention. So look forward to seeing everybody there. Sales and leadership. It's right around the corner. It's in April. It's down in Fort Lauderdale. If you are a young professional and you'd like to be engaged in this conversation, certainly take a look at the website and register for Sales and Leadership this year, hosted by our Young Agents Council. It is a great event. A lot of great topics and breakouts, and certainly the networking is second to none. So go on the FAI website and take a look at events, and then Sales and Leadership Conference to get more details and register today for that. And then upcoming shows. Next week, we have our friends from Monarch National will be on. And then we still just had this a few weeks ago, but workforce is still a very high priority here at the association. So April 3rd, our friends from Ideal Traits, which is a platform that we've partnered with to help agency owners and those looking for talent. Ideal Traits has a great platform for that. And then on April 10th, Evolve is going to bring us up to date on some of the things they're seeing in the cyber world and some of the exposures that we're all dealing with, unfortunately, on probably a daily basis. So that's the schedule going forward. Looking forward to those folks being on and bringing our members up to date on things. So without further ado, let's bring in our friend Trace Meek from Ask Fetch. I'll put your picture back up there, my friend. So good morning, sir.
Good morning, Dave. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I think it's worthy for those that may be new to Friday Morning Live or just new to to kind of go back a few years, my friend, when I made an agency visit to your agency there in Clearwater, and you developed this idea, and then you said to me, "Hey, Dave, I think I'm going to announce it at convention. You think I can do it?" And I said, "Boy, that doesn't seem like a lot of time, Trace, but you pulled it off, my friend." So what was that thought process when you actually developed this concept, Trace?
So thanks for having me, Dave. And yes, I just want to give you a little shout out to the Gaylord, favorite hotel of convention. So if people haven't gone to that convention yet, Gaylord, super family friendly, awesome place to be. So it's one of my faves, but
All right,
just
get
wanted to
rooms, folks.
put that out there.
You heard that from Trace Meek.
It's my fave. Anyway, so yeah, Dave. So it's actually coming up March 22nd, 2019. I was the night before, I was playing with my daughter, stepped on a pipe, rolled my left foot, and broke my fifth metatarsal. And as I laid there on the couch the next day, I was thinking, as an agency owner, these frustrations that were in my office, and the one of the biggest frustrations was underwriting at that time. It was the constant of my team asking questions over the cubicle. Who will write a 13-year-old roof? Oh, well, this carrier will. Well, yeah, but they won't take a pit bull. But oh, it has a trampoline, and all these things. And the only way you could really do it is everyone has that beautiful shiny 3-ring binder with all their notes all over it on their desk, and they would flip through these documents with a sense of like frustration, right? Because each carrier could have 2 to 10 pages of their information. It's all in different places. So I thought, there's got to be a better way to do this. And so I picked up the phone that morning and called my good friend Josh Mirabella, who is the co-founder with me with Fetch. And I said, "You think there's an easy way we could take some of this data and make a filtered system?" He goes, "Sure. How hard could insurance be?" And later to find out, it's a lot more complicated than you think when you have to build it out into a filtered system. It's almost like a Rubik's Cube, trying to solve a Rubik's Cube. So yeah, Dave, and you would come to my office, and if you think about it, we're right now 96 days from FAIA convention this year. So that's how much time I had to get this launched. So we put our heads down and got it there. So, and we launched it at convention of June 2019.
Yeah, and again, that was the first iteration, and I think over time, Trace, you engaged other agency owners, you engaged carriers, you engaged the industry, you engaged FAIA, right, to kind of give you feedback on this. So as we progress these last several years, and now we're to another convention, you mentioned 96 days. So what do agents have to look forward to as they see this platform, this product come full circle to now 2026?
Correct. So we just started off as a simple filtered system. And then over time, the agents were like, "This is awesome. We can see the carriers and the policy types, but then we have to go to a rating platform." Trace, can you make this happen? And so I went back to my team. We got the first API about 2 years ago, to almost to this month, from American Integrity. They had reached out and said, yeah, we'll give you the API. And so we've been adding on the carrier APIs for about the past 18, 20 months. We have over 23, 24, 25 carriers I'm looking at right now in the system quoting. So now we create this amazing experience for you where you can easily underwrite it and now quote it. And because over the past 3 years, AI has really exploded, and we've been collecting the underwriting data for all the carriers in the state of Florida. I probably have the largest database of QRGs than anybody. And now we're able to take all that data, dump it into a large language model, and now you can be able to ask our AI, which, if you all remember earlier, I said I was playing with my daughter and I broke my foot. Well, her name's Ellie, and I named the AI after her as a little tip of the hat for if I wasn't doing that and broke my foot, I probably wouldn't have started Fetch.
Okay, so Ellie, does Ellie have a manager and a lawyer? Since you're using her name, image, and likeness?
Yeah, her nil. Yeah. Unfortunately, she doesn't know that yet, so it doesn't. It's not a problem.
Okay, we'll keep that a secret on just this group here.
So, so.
So,
But I do want to kind of go back. All the things I talked about, from the AI underwriter to the filtered system to the quoting. A lot of this comes back to some recent things that I've been reading, and one of them was MIT did a study over 4,000 financial institutions, like even in the insurance world. And what they did is they studied them to see that when a consumer reaches out to them, that if the companies got back to them within 5 minutes versus 30 minutes, the companies were 21 times more likely to write the business, Dave.
wow.
So let me say that again. 21 times more likely if they got back to them within 5 minutes versus 30 minutes. And that study was done 15 years ago.
Jeez. Wow.
and and in that, it really opened my eyes that the insurance industry is tough on that. There's a lot of old technology, legacy software. Agents have a lot going on, from building from the moment they get the lead to binding the lead, there's workflows, all those processes. And I think, from my experience as someone who owned an agency, I never actually shopped my insurance. And recently, since I've sold my agency, I've shopped my insurance. And man, I didn't really want to do it. And I can only assume what the consumer thinks out there of what they want to do, right? They have this deck page, they're pushing around their desk. They finally pick up the phone, they call the agent. And what are the two questions the consumer always asks? Can you insure my home, and what's the price?
Right.
The agent goes through and asks all these questions, or the consumer goes to their website, fills out the form, and at the end of the form it says, thank you, we'll get back to you. Or when I called, they would take down all my information. I emailed them all my documents, and they said, we'll get back to you. And I ended up calling about 10 to 15 agents around my area because I wanted to see what that experience was with not just one. And I'll tell you, half of them didn't get back with me, and the other half took 2 to 5 business days. And I thought to myself, is this really what the industry standard is? And I think it is, because the technology that we have at the time is just not conducive to do it over the phone.
Right.
So that's where Fetch steps in. That's where our mindset has been. We don't look at just the agency. We look at the consumer and how we can create that great consumer experience, right? And we need to build better tools for the agents to do that.
Well, Trace, with that in mind, I'm going to make you the presenter now, and I think you're going to walk us through, right? Some of the nuances of what you've been able to do. There you go. I just gave you permission, I hope.
I don't see a pop-up yet.
You don't see it pop up yet? Let me make sure. Trace. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Now I got you. It didn't give me the prompt on my end. So you see it now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Uh,
So as Trace is getting ready to show his screen and kind of walk you through Ask Fetch, if you have any questions, please certainly post them in the question pane, and we'll get to those throughout the broadcast. And then,
sorry about this, Dave. It's making me quit and reopen, so I'll have to jump out, jump back in. It's
okay, all right.
the world
Well,
of tech.
I'll just
I'll be right back.
talking, but well, appreciate you being on today on Friday Morning Live, and like I say, Trace is going to get back in a second. Just load his deck page, or I actually he's going to use the website. So we'll go from there. But any questions you have of the association, certainly reach out to us. As many of you know, the website has been updated. Got a great new fresh look, just like Friday Morning Live slides do. And so if you have any questions about the website or some of the things that you used to see or you're missing now or whatever, please let us know. We'll make sure those things are corrected, because with any website, and many of you know, any website update, there's always some challenges that you don't really anticipate, but you figure out after the fact. But we've been the IT and communications team been very good at being responsive to finding those things and moving those things forward. So let me see if I see my friend Trace back in. Yep, there he is. All right, I'm going to make you a presenter, Trace. All right, I just did it. And there you go. Look at there, success.
Awesome.
All right,
I'm back.
Trace, take it away.
Awesome. So I'm going to show you all. We're going to start with Ellie. Okay. And so a lot of you that know Fetch and what it was just a filtered system where you could input some information and it would populate. We evolved into the AI world. And one of the things is you had to ask each carrier individually a question. And of course, many agents came to me and said, hey, Trace, is there a way we can ask multiple carriers at one time? And I said, sure. So this is one of our newest and I think really strong products that we've really built out. So now you can come in here and you can choose, today you can choose up to 5 carriers. And part of that reason is, and a lot of people say, well, I want to ask all my carriers. Well, if you have 30 carriers and there's on average 2 policies per carrier, you're looking at 60, 50 or 60 pieces of data that can really be overwhelming to read. So at this point, we kind of go, hey, find your top 5 that you really want to work with. Let's see how that works, and then maybe we can evolve. But so right now, I've chosen my state, I've chosen my carriers, and now I can ask Ellie a question as if I were to pick up the phone or send an email to my underwriter. Okay? Who insure a home built in 1954 with a pit bull and 3-tab roof, 13 years old? And as you see, I'm fat fingering it, trying to talk and type at the same time. Ellie has these little mini underwriters that go out to each carrier, brings back the information, and then populates it out and brings it into a nice thing, nice overview of everything. As you see here, Florida PIN, they give you the policy forms. It gives you the potential with information, what the next steps look like, possible, unlikely, right? Unlikely, possible. So really a great way to be able to ask questions. You can do, what are the water heater ages, and put this in a table format. All right, so she can even design it to be easier to read. So like that, where you'll be able to see the policy form, the age, tankless age, and the notes. So this is a great way. I don't know if you've all heard, but if you go on Chipotle's website, they never locked it down. So you can actually ask the Chipotle app to do other things, and it'll write code for you. It's like a free way of getting access to Claude. In in the world of Ellie, you can ask her, "Can you write code for me?" And the question is, I'm here to help you with insurance underwriting questions. So she's just like my daughter. She's stubborn. So we've put the guardrails in. I know a lot of agents out there are concerned about having like ChatGPT or Anthropic or Gemini in the office because you can ask it anything, right? And people can go down that rabbit hole, looking up recipes. Well, Ellie's built for the insurance world, especially underwriting.
So let's go back to that first example where you put in the 5 carriers and basically 3
Mhm.
came back as possibles and
Well,
2 you
mhm.
just knocked out right out of the box, right? So now you concentrate as an agent on the 3, right? And see what one would best fit for that particular risk, right, Trace?
Correct. So this is just a great way to be able to get an overview of a handful of carriers and be able to know what they're looking at, right? So, like, let's say, what about trampoline, right? So she'll come in here and give us the information, yes, no. Right here, Olympus, no, ineligible outright, no exceptions for enclosures or exclusions. Well, now we know we can have this conversation with the consumer. We're on the phone with them. They call us up and say, "Hey, I just got canceled because of my trampoline." And you go, "Okay, well, maybe Olympus is the best place to go." And you could go, "Hey, if you get rid of the trampoline, I can put you with these additional carriers." And that's what I think it's about. It's about having that instant information for the consumer when you're on the phone with them or when you're trying to do some research for a client.
Well,
And this is
again,
where, go
to your
ahead.
point, having that conversation with the client, because this is all about not only eligibility, but risk management, right? If trampoline is becoming an issue with securing insurance, then that's a conversation the agent could have with the client, prospective client, right?
That's correct.
You know,
And that's where that's where
yeah,
that part comes in, Dave,
exactly.
is being able to do that. And I'm having to maintain all this. It's a lot of work to maintain underwriting guidelines. I have someone full time on staff. They go out to the carriers. They look every day for new updates of the QRGs and bulletins, and we pull it in and update Ellie. So it's a lot of work, and we do this so the agent doesn't have to.
Yeah, and I
But
know, I remember back in the day, some of the pushback, Trace, you recall, is how up to date and valid this information was because, again, we're talking about the private market, and I know when you did the drop down, you had Citizens in there. I remember back in the day, Citizens used to issue bulletins sometimes twice a day. Now they only do them
yeah,
on Thursdays, but still, that was a heavy lift just for that one particular carrier, let alone all the other ones you represent in the agency.
I'm glad you brought up Citizens. So, as you all know who write with Citizens, that if you are in the clearinghouse and let's say Florida PIN shows up above Citizens, you cannot bind your Citizens policy. But you know that Florida PIN, for instance, maybe doesn't write a certain part of the risk. You have to now go fill out a 2-page form and submit it to Citizens to tell them that Florida PIN doesn't write that particular risk. Well, I actually work with Citizens on the back end. They use this exact system, Ellie, to look up that question, and that's how they get it confirmed that it's okay to move forward to remove it so you can bind a Citizens policy. So just a little side note on that. That
Well, I
they
appreciate you
the
saying that
state
because agents, as you know, there is some issues with that and using the clearinghouse and certainly the exceptions that need to be made. And so Trace's group has partnered with Citizens on that particular thing. And I think that has caused that time delay, Trace, to be shortened quite a bit
very
because
much
they're
so.
using this tool to kind of move that process along and create those exceptions and the adoption of those exceptions much quicker so the agent can be more responsive to the client. So, um,
And what I'm hoping for in the future, Dave,
yeah,
is that I want it to be where the agent can pull this up and send a screenshot of Ellie to Citizens, so
gotcha.
that way it'll even
That,
speed it up faster.
exactly. That'd
That's
be awesome. Yep. Um, hey, Trace, are you in any other states or just Florida?
So with the LE underwriting, we are in other states. We do have other underwriting data that we have collected. I think we have it in 20 plus states right now.
Okay.
So
Wow.
yes, LE can work in other states.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions, Dave?
Nope. Go. Keep going.
So we launched this program. I'm about to show you here. Can you see my screen?
I
Yes.
can.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. So we launched this at FAIA last year. This is what we call EOS. This is the consumer facing form that agents can now create themselves. So you can put your logo up here in the top left corner. You put your agency name here. And where this evolved from is, do you ever get those calls from a mortgage lender or a realtor at, I don't know, like let's say today at 4:50 p.m., right? And they go,
No,
"Hey,
no
I'm
agent
about to
ever
put
gets
in a."
those calls. No.
No, no. Well, they just turn the phone off, right? That's how you. No, I'm kidding. So, your referral partner calls you up and goes, "Hey, we're about to put an offer on this house. I need a quote." And you go, "Oh man, okay. Well, we're gonna have to start this whole process. I want to go to my kid's baseball game. I want to have pizza night, move with my kids." So, this came out of this expression on how to the get the quote, or at least get an indication to the consumer when they need it. So this is a mobile-friendly product. It's web-based. I'm going to walk you through it real quick. So let's pretend I'm a realtor and I'm on my phone, and we're going to start a quote. All right. So I'm going to do this. New. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Put a phone number in because these are required by the carrier.
Hey, thanks for moving my
I know.
up quite a bit. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, so we just need a little bit of personal information. We pull information off of Zillow to populate this, and we only ask questions that we know the consumer or the realtor would probably know how to answer. Who's going to occupy the property? I live here year round. They're going to know if it's frame or masonry, and then the roof year, okay, and then the shape. You hit next, and what that does is now they get this amazing response. Now, all our quotes come back on an average of 7 seconds or less. So that way the consumer gets this instant gratification. All the data has now been dropped into all of the agents' carriers and in Fetch within those 7 seconds. So now they've received quotes, they've received policy numbers. Your agency information is right here on the left-hand side, has some information about the application. And it's a great way for the consumer to get that what they really want, because the agents out there, your competitor is Tesla, it's Amazon, it's AI, because all these people are using these products every day. They want that instant gratification. They don't use Amazon because they can get the package in 7 days. They do it because they get a package today. And that's what this is about.
Yeah, that's true. And so it kind of lays it out there, like you say, Trace, and provides them again a tool to have a conversation with their agent, right? And because there are definitely going to be nuances between each one of these carriers that's displayed in front of them.
So my agents that are using this are saying that it's coming in. Once they get the win minutes and the 4 points and they get the questions answered, it's coming in about 5 to 10% within the range of the quote. So if you're looking at your mortgage lenders and your realtors, they're not going to close on this property for 30 days anyway, and you don't have all the insights. Don't try to kill yourself over an hour or two trying to get it quoted, and they might not even get the deal. So this is just a great way to get them in a ballpark idea of where they're going to be.
So once they see this, then what have you heard from agents on how quickly or not quickly that they hear from either your referral source or the consumer to get back to the agent on this? Have you heard
So when
kind of timelines
yeah,
on those?
so when the consumer fills this out, it instantly sends an email to the insurance agent.
Okay.
to be notified. So it becomes this great thing. What my agents have been telling me about this is that the consumer's ready to pick up the phone, like, or they look at it, they're excited, they know that it's there, and then the consumer's like kind of ready to go, right? But if you think about it, all the data's been dropped into all these carriers. So if they got a carrier you really like, you just go straight to the carrier, the information's in there, and you just firm it up and get it bound. Because
Yeah.
that's what it's about. The consumer just wants to get it off their desk.
Right. Right. Okay.
Any questions out there?
Nothing's, again, just a reminder, if you have questions as we go through the presentation, let us know and we'll get them answered from Trace about this. Is there an additional cost for multiple logins within one agency?
Yes. So I can pull up, let's see here. Sorry, I can pull up the pricing real quick. The pricing's on our website. So it's a per user seat. It's $25, $50, or $75 per user per month. The $25 gets you that LE underwriting piece and the LE general, where you can ask her just underwriting questions. If you want to add the quoting platform, which is our underwriting quoting platform with Ellie, it's $50 a month per seat. And then what I just showed you, which was the consumer facing, along with our quoting platform and Ellie, comes at to a $75 a month per seat.
Okay.
Okay. And they can always go to our website, askfetch.com, for all that additional information.
Okay.
And then, so with these two products, these have been our two newest products that we've launched. We're going to have a new version, a new flow of Fetch. We're going to have a lot new exciting things coming at convention. But I can say this for today, we have taken the concept of this consumer facing, the concept of our quoting platform, and agents have nuances, right? I have 350 offices in Fetch today in Florida, and they all want to do a little something a little different. So I sat down with my team and we came up with an API. What does that API do? It gives you, the agent, the opportunity to take the Fetch engine and build what you want around it. You can build it around your forms, around your ideas, around what you want to be selected and unselected. And now you can have the opportunity to build your rater your way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And that's coming.
So now
you'll display that at convention?
It is available today.
Oh, okay.
The API is available today. And it's a great way for the agent. So I had Catherine Lurch and Ray Shakow from Dar Shakow reach out to me when the API was launched. And they said, Trace, here is our customer survey. And it was a PDF format. What we did is we took that, we converted it into a web form that ties now into the Fetch engine. So now they can ask all the questions they want. They can hit a button, brings back the quotes, and they get to have this white labeled experience for their agents the way they want it. And I actually call it the DAR Rater. Anyway, DAR Rater for them. So it's their own fun. So,
well, you got to have fun. It's insurance. So
that's right.
Okay, but so Trace, if anybody on this call or anybody listening in the future of this has questions about that particular thing, how do they reach out to you and have begin that dialogue?
Sure, just email me at Trace, TRACE, at askfetch.com, ASKFETCH.com, and I'll be happy to send you the documentation on the API. It's really easy to use. I've had one agent, they just found somebody, one of their tech guys, they're able to give them the API and they're getting it launched. So it's a great way to be able to create it in your workflow, in your process.
And then you brand it your agency, right?
Correct.
That's what.
Yeah, it's just running on the background. You don't even know it exists.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Okay.
Now, I do have one little thing that I plan on launching at FAIA, and we call it the Codex. And we've been training Ellie, our AI, to do more than just respond to underwriting information. You will now be able to upload your WinMit, your 4-point, and your deck page for the client. She will be able to read it, populate it, and bring back these quotes without having to type anything. And we believe that's the future of insurance, is reducing the amount of keystrokes and bringing back the quotes that you need. So we'll be excited to show you that.
Well, that's interesting. As many of you know on this call, there's a new 1802 form that'll coming online April the 1st. Greg Thomas just had a class on this yesterday. He's developed some topics or some classes and some different things around this. He's become very familiar with the 1802 and certainly some of the things the OIR is doing in that space. So this is another thing, Trace, if you're starting to populate that, because that's one thing that certainly the OIR is wanting from carriers, to be able to send them that information to create a database for the 1802s. So interesting that you're ahead of the curve on that as well. Great news, because that can be a challenge for many to keep up with all these different documents on a particular risk. So, congrats.
Well, and I learned from FAIA that we're going to lose 400,000 agents in the next couple of years. Is that true, Dave?
By
that
2030, yes. So
by 2030, and we have this new group of agents coming in, and they need newer technology. These legacy systems are just outdated. These systems, like what we're building at Fetch, has that in the mindset. They want my kids, their Google mindset now is ChatGPT.
right.
And so in the insurance world, we need to be able to provide something in that idea to where you can be able to have conversations with an AI and to be able to get your answers instantly. So that's all I have to show for today, Dave.
You mentioned
Unless there are any
earlier,
questions.
Trace, the whole thing around AI, and certainly we've adopted some guideposts here at the association, and I know a lot of our members have as well. But there seems to always, or continues to be, this uneasiness around using artificial intelligence to help make your job a little easier, right, and more efficient, to create more time in your day. So, what do you get any pushback from people that are looking at the product and saying, "Oh, wait a minute, now this is getting a little bit beyond my scope here. I'm a little concerned about all this AI entering into my world." So, do you get much of that, Trace?
I don't really get much pushback on Ellie, especially her, because everybody knows what to use her for. Mainly for insurance and underwriting, and they just love it. The hardest part I've had is training the people like ourselves, Dave, who grew up with Google. We're used to just typing one word like water heater, and it just finds water heater. Well, when you talk to Ellie, you can't just say water heater and expect her to know that you're looking at the year and the location.
Okay.
Right? You don't pick up the phone and call underwriting and go, water heater, right? You have a conversation. And so that's what I'm having to train the agents on, is be a little more elaborate. Like you're actually talking to a real person and say, will you accept a 15-year-old water heater in the garage, right? And now she really knows what to look for and how to answer your question.
And we talk about it all the time, right, Trace? It's the prompt that actually, as you're talking through that,
Mm-hmm.
prompt is what's going to drive getting the right information. And then the more you get familiar with making the prompt even more digestible, you'll get a better answer from it. And so, to your point, yeah, you just don't throw in water heater and expect. It's not a mind reader. It certainly can be responsive, but certainly can't read your mind as a user. So, any other questions, folks, for Trace while we have him talking about this product? And certainly visit him at his booth at convention in the exhibit hall because he's certainly has a lot of things that, as he mentioned here today, that it's forthcoming, and certainly want to share with independent agents that are attending our show in June. So, it's kind of a quiet group this morning, Trace. Everybody should have had their coffee by 9:39, right? So,
Right, you would think.
what you would think, but
That's
no,
all
I
right.
mean,
They can always reach out to me personally in email.
exactly.
I'm always here to,
Yep.
if they had any additional questions or want a review demo, I'm here for them. So
Yep.
thank you so much, Dave.
Well, thank you. I'm gonna let me go back to my screen, and I'm gonna show it. And there's our friend Trace, and with his address there, Trace at askfetch.com. If you have any questions or you want a demonstration, or you want to just pick his brain about some things you're thinking about, because one thing, as you heard throughout this conversation this morning, in 2019 was a concept, and 2026 is now deliverables. And he and his team have always listened to agents. They've always done a good job of being responsive. He gave you a recent example with the Darshakow agency. So if you're thinking about things for your agency, you're thinking about things that maybe could improve the product, certainly reach out to Trace, and he can have that conversation with you. So that's where we are this morning. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Trace, thank you so much. And
see you all at the Gaylord.
Yep. Just a reminder, thanks for attending. We are recording these sessions, so if you want to listen to it again, or certainly have somebody on your team listen to it, you can look next week, and it'll be posted on the FML page on the education tab. So thanks, folks. Have a great weekend, and stay safe out there. Take care.